Manchester City 3, Manchester United 1. Man City win another Manchester derby. It's not a surprise, is it? What's good, guys, and welcome to another episode of Mini Football Logic. It's Zeno here, and in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Manchester derby that happened on Sunday, just yesterday. Now, as we all know, it ended 3-1. And once again, it was a game that Manchester City dominated in the last, you could say almost 10 years or so, 9 or 8 years. Pretty much since Pep Guardiola, took charge of United. Took charge of City, sorry, my mistake. Unfortunately, these games have tended to only go one way in terms of performances. Now, obviously, United have had their moments. But the reality is, in the last 7 times they've played, 6 of those games have gone Man City's way. And today's game, obviously it wasn't as bad as the 6-3, you could say, for example. It just shows the developing chasm, the gap between these two is so huge and so wide now. It's crazy to see. Just like about 10, 11, 12 years ago, not that long ago, in our lifetimes, we heard Sir Alex Ferguson literally not take these guys in blue seriously, calling them the noisy neighbours. And now look what Ten Hag was saying in the build-up to the game, saying that they should be the noisy neighbours now. It's crazy how things turn around. Watching this game, it was not watching two teams go head-to-head, full tilt at each other's necks, like how you would see a Liverpool-Arsenal game or a Liverpool-City game or Arsenal-City game. This was Man United coming to the Etihad and trying to be solid defensively while also sacrificing their attacking threat. And that's literally what this game was. Manchester City literally dominated the ball, dominated the play, had a whole bunch of shots. Manchester United were literally living off scraps. They just decided, okay, we're going to defend deep, defend compact, and we're going to just catch them on the break. As you all know, if you're going to beat Manchester City, the best way to beat them is to actually go straight at them. But also for many teams who don't have the personnel to do that, they have to accept their reality and just hope they can keep them out for a whole game. But with Philip Walter Foden in this kind of form, that was never happening. Now, Haaland, yeah, probably. The only reason why he scored is because of, poor possession retaining from Amrabat. Nonetheless, with Philip Walter Foden in that form, you ain't stopping him. Hey, look, listen. Manchester United, we all know they had a plan. Okay, Bruno, false 9. Rashford and Garnacho, the wingers. And, the midfield 3 of McTominay, Kobe Mainoo, and Casemiro. Look, I'm not trying to come at any of these guys. They're all great midfielders in their own right, in their own different ways. But it's a very reactive midfield. It's a very defensive midfield. Bruno no longer is playing in that 3. He's now playing up front. It's like this team was built to just defend. Lindelof at left back. Now, of course, I know they don't have much choice, but he was there. And it was a really defensive performance. Now, the thing is, United could actually have executed this plan and actually got on the result. Rashford scored a wonder goal to give them the lead. Onana straight up to Bruno. Bruno held it up pretty well and laid it off to Rashford, who smacked it off the bar into the goal. Wow, okay. Now, we know that Rashford's been washed this season. He has been terrible in comparison to his performances last season, where it looked like he finally broke through as the player with so much promise. But it seems like he's just gone another 3-4 steps back. So that goal could be a key for his confidence, but who knows, innit? We thought that when he scored the goal against Arsenal. But really and truly, at this point, you could see United's time was working, because up to that point, Man City had dominated the game. They even had a penalty shout, all of this kind of stuff, and then boom, sucker punch, bang. This is exactly how Man United were going to win the game, just by keeping it compact and tight at the back, and just catching Man City at the counter attack. That's the only way they were going to win the game. Let's be honest. That's how big the difference is between the two clubs. You have to then at that point adapt to that. So they actually got the goal and they actually took the lead. And you're thinking, okay, maybe they could do this, because then Man City continued to push and to push and to push. And then before half time elapsed, they had the chance of Haaland. And we all know that Haaland in the last 2 and a bit seasons, I'll say 2 and a bit, 1 and a bit seasons, has proven to be the best striker in the league. Not the most clinical, okay? Check the stats, not the most clinical, but he is the best. And he missed an open goal, an absolute sitter. Foden headed it towards him, and he siphoned it over the bar. Well, let's be honest, I know he's 6'5", so he's a bit taller than the average man, but he should have steeped and stooped down low and just headed it in. Why he tried to volley it and fly? It's a much more difficult, complicated finish, and he blazed it over the bar. Now people are saying it's the worst. Could it be the worst miss ever? It's not. Trust me. Check the archives. There's a lot more worse misses than that. It's just because of the man that's missed a chance. It's unfathomable to think that he could miss such a chance with his record, but he does. He actually does. Haaland misses a lot more chances than you realise, and because he isn't scoring in quite the same way, you're starting to notice the misses a lot more. Nonetheless, Man United go into half-time with the lead, completely against the run of play. Exactly how they planned. Exactly how Ten Hag planned. Of course, this wasn't the type of football that United fans were expecting when he came from Ajax, but it's functional and it was getting the job done. Then the second half happened, and then Philip Walter Foden. I keep saying Walter when I'm meant to say Foden, but that's how you know I love his middle name. Anyways, he turned on the style. Okay, the first goal, he was trying to match Rashford out here. He got the ball, he cut inside. Lindelof was a step too slow. Kobe Mainoo didn't come out quickly enough, and he just smacked it top corner. Smacked it, like he kind of hit it like while digging the ball. So to keep it like not going way over was actually quite techie. It was a really, really good strike. Obviously, Rashford's probably was a bit better, but let's not compare goals. That goal was crucial, and they got Man City back into the game. And we all know when it comes to clubs like Man City, if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. The fact that they equalised meant the game was done. Once momentum starts to shift like that, and they have the goal as well, the confidence starts to, pour in, starts to shine through. United couldn't suddenly just change because now they're thinking, okay, instead of us defending a win, we're now defending a draw. That's just the reality of it. They're not going to just suddenly turn around and then try and win the game. Hell no, they're not going to do that. The play was way too much in City's favour. And we all know that Man City have a million options off the bench. So, look, Alvarez came on for flip's sake. Like, how can you compete with that? But United had Eriksen and a couple of kids from the academy. You can't compare it. It's really difficult. Amrabat, who, let's be honest, Amrabat stinks. Yeah, like my little brother was saying, he's living off his World Cup performances. Yeah, before the World Cup, he wasn't relevant. Yeah, I remember a couple of years ago, Tottenham were linked with this guy and we almost signed him. And all the Tottenham fans were saying, no, how could we sign someone that's dead? And these are Tottenham fans talking, let's be honest, Tottenham ain't all that. We know that. So, anyways, I'm getting drifted away from my point. So the quality of players coming to the bench, it wasn't going to be possible that United could turn this game around unless Man City started to drop the level dramatically. And then Foden scored again with 10 minutes left plus added time. Beautiful interchange with Alvarez. And he just slotted it underneath Onana's hand. Again, you could point fingers at Onana, but how many times have we pointed fingers at Onana this season? He's just that level. He ain't that great, is he? Let's be honest. I don't know what he was doing over at Ajax and Inter, and for some reason you can't maintain that level here. But look, I'm not going to blame Onana for that. That was a great finish from Foden. Now, we probably expect him to square it to Haaland, but he's thinking, obviously, Haaland, I don't know if I can trust that boy. I'm going to just slot in myself. And then in added time, Amrabat was caught lacking, and then he got dispossessed by Rodri, and then Rodri set through Haaland, and then Haaland scored. Well. He always scores, doesn't he? That's 6 goals and 3 assists, I believe, in 4 games against United. Look, obviously, we all have our opinions on Haaland and who he is as a footballer. And the reality of who he is that he is actually a limited football player. But the things that he does well, he does so well. So damn well. Like, this can't be argued. He's big and strong, and he's also very fast. And he's decently technically capable. A lot better than you might realise. And he's great at scoring goals. Okay, he's not the most clinical, like I said earlier, but he scores goals. He had that chance and he put it away. Of course, he missed the earlier chance, but now he can kind of forget about it a little bit and say, okay, I got one. and that compounded a victory. And it was all Man City deserved. Everyone's been laughing about how Man City had more shots than Man United had possession. Come on, 27 shots to 26% possession for United. It's embarrassing. It's poor. But this game is just there for everyone to see. The gap between Man City and United has completely swung. Completely swung over the past 20 years. Man City were the low mid-table team fighting to stay in the league. And Man United were, well, so Alex Ferguson every United. Do I really need to say more apart from that? Competing for titles every single season. And then now, look at it. Especially since Guardiola became manager. It's just not the same. Now suddenly, Man City are the one that said this, winning the trebles. Just competing for every single trophy every single year with all kinds of world-class versatile players in their arsenal, in their squad. Funny I used the word arsenal there, but in their armory. And United, obviously, they're not fighting relegation, but at this point they might as well be. That's how far they are from title contention. But that's just how it is, isn't it? It's how the circle of life goes. Anyways, I think I'm going to end it here. It's come to a natural end. Hope you guys enjoyed listening and watching, or both. And I'll catch you in the next episode.
Mini Laje.